welcome back to our How to ISO series. This week we're going to give you our number one tip for getting more value out of your QHSE management system. We're going to draw on several decades of working in this area and hopefully give you some tips that you can think about even if you're just designing and developing a system right now. In fact, that's probably the best time to think about this tip. Now, very often when we're in that situation, yes, the organisation has decided to develop a management system. Quality, safety, environment, whatever it might be, we pull out the respective standard, we start to get an understanding of the requirements, and in our experience we see lots of organisations fall into a little bit of a, what's the right word, I guess a little bit of a trap in thinking that the only way we can respond to a requirement and demonstrate meeting a requirement is to develop a detailed procedure, documented procedure, and create forms that people have got to fill out to prove that we are implementing that procedure. Broadly, we're very focused and a little bit fixated on the documents. Now, even ISO itself, what we're going to advocate is that you focus more on the process. Let's say it's a safety system, the processes you need to work safely and the results or the outcome you want to achieve. Now, that's clearly not a radical position. That's actually, if we look back to 2015 when ISO revised and re-released the ISO 9001 quality standard or the environmental standard 14001, and for other standards it's released since that point, such as ISO 45001, the safety standard, ISO itself made a shift, a clear shift, and not every organisation has picked this up, where they've reduced the amount of mandatory documentation. Yes, there is still some, and we'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But they fairly and squarely took the focus off mandating documents for absolutely everything to say, more effective outcomes or results can be achieved if we put in place processes and focus a bit more on the process. Now, I'll give you an example. Well, just to, reiterate that this is really coming from ISO. This slide here is really drawn from, if you open up any of those management system standards I've talked about, 45001, the safety standard, for example, right there in the introduction, you can see that ISO is saying basically you need to plan, implement, monitor and measure, and improve on the processes that you need to achieve the safety results that you're trying to achieve. That's what the standard and the intent of the standard is about. Okay, so very clearly this is ISO's position. A lot of organisations have not picked up on this and still have that very document. We have to develop a document for everything. And in reality, yes, most certification bodies and they are training their auditors on to have this process, about the process approach. You still get lazy auditors, to be honest, who still want to just see a document for everything, but that's just to make their own job easy. More importantly, even ISO is saying, if you want better results, let's stick with the safety example. From your safety system, then let's understand, map out, manage, improve our processes. Now, again, here's some examples. All of those standards they talk about, we have to implement a process to action and address risks and opportunities, manage change, whatever it might be. So system level processes. Again, if you want to get even more value, or even an area where you can get even more value, if you like, is by taking that process approach to delivery of our core products and services as well. I'm really referring to Section 8 or Clause 8 in all of those standards where they talk about operational planning and control. Now, if that's from a quality perspective, if we really want to get value out of a quality system, yes, let's understand the processes by which we deliver our product or services to our customers. That's where our quality risks, our big quality risks really are. And let's seek to improve that rather than just developing a document for everything. Again, even from a safety or environmental or food safety perspective, your biggest risks are in your operational processes you perform. But let's come through, I'm going to come back to the system level requirement around awareness. Again, typically organisations say, right, we're going to make people aware of our safety system via an induction process, and then they write a big procedure around that. But we're going to start, let's have a look at how we could be a bit more process focused about that. That's really saying, well, yes, as you can see at the third step in the dark blue steps there, this is broadly our organisational steps that we already often have in place to recruit and onboard someone and make them aware of our system. Now, number one, by mapping it out as a process, quite often, number one benefit is you quite often find that, hang on, we're already doing a lot of this, as opposed to creating a new induction procedure that's not reflective of the other steps you have in place to onboard someone and make someone aware of their safety hazards in their work area and your safety system as an example. Yes, we can already start to see by mapping it out, here's a process that we're going to plan, sustain, support, monitor and improve. It's a much more sustainable approach to your safety performance as well. You can identify the risks in the process, the inputs up the top here, the outputs if you want to, or even better, the results that you're aiming to achieve. And down here, we're identifying risks at each stage. You're starting to see why it's kind of mapping out a process, identifying all of these things has got many layers of value more than just documenting a procedure that in reality most staff don't want to read or don't want to follow, is the reality of the situation. Now, I'm just going to focus on if we are using induction as our mechanism to make people aware of our safety system and what they're expected to do, but also hazards in their work area and what they're expected to do to manage those. Now, a second tip is, it's one thing to focus on the process and measure the process, but we often see organisations do that reasonably well, but we'll get even more value if we actually focus on the outcome and the result we're trying to achieve. Even, if I go back a slide, seeing organisations, let's document the outcome or the result we're trying to achieve, and then you can almost reverse engineer the process you need to get there. Okay. Problem with just documenting a procedure, the outcome or results you want aren't clear to people. But in this case too, yes, let's go through this example here. I'm trying to highlight that you need to focus on and measure the outcome. That's equally, if not more important. So yes, we've decided on an induction process to make people aware of hazards in their work area. And we typically see organisations measure elements of the process. What percentage of staff have been inducted, things like that. Now that's valuable, but there's even more value in trying to monitor and measure, well, how effective was the process? What outcome or results were achieved? For example, it's great, 95% of people have been inducted, but more importantly, are they aware of hazards in their work area? There have been cases even taken right through to courts where, yes, there's been an induction process, there's a procedure and records to support that. Were staff aware of some of the key hazards in their work area? No, they weren't. So it's not, not only do we need to focus on the outcome to get the performance we want, even, if you're in the situation where you have a serious harm injury, courts will be expecting you to achieve that outcome anyway. That's reality under our kind of safety legislation in Australia. So very broadly, our number one tip, quite simple, we've explored it a little bit today, is to, yes, let's take our focus and framing of what's required in our management system off documents, focus on the processes you need and really focus in on and discuss as a business and get authorisation from the top. Here's the results we're trying to achieve. And those two things are clearly linked. As always in our How to ISO series, yes, we are, we've already posted up on our resources page there. There's a link to all the mandatory documentation you need from any of those standards we've talked about. There's also some example process maps in further detail. We hope this assists you on your journey to ISO certification.